Right now, three massive storm systems are lining up like dominoes across the United States, and the first one drops in less than 48 hours. Over 270 cities are in the crosshairs this week. If you live anywhere east of the Rockies, this video could save your life. Stay with me, because at the 5-minute mark, I am going to give you the exact hour-by-hour breakdown for every major region, so you know precisely when to shelter, when to prepare, and when it is safe to come back out. But first, let me tell you what just happened, because this is not a normal week. From March 5th through the 8th, a monster storm system ripped across the country from the southern plains all the way up to the Great Lakes. More than 20 tornado reports. Over 100,000 power outages across multiple states. And tragically, 8 people lost their lives. More than 30 were injured. This was one of the deadliest early March severe weather events we have seen in years. An EF3 tornado near Union City, Michigan, packed winds over 150 miles per hour, destroying homes along Union Lake and devastating the entire community. And here is the part that should make every single one of you pay attention. The atmosphere is not done. Not even close. What is coming this week is likely going to be worse. Now drop a comment right now telling me what city and state you are in. I am going to be responding personally with specific timing and risk levels for your area. Do it right now before you forget. Here is the first thing you need to understand. On Tuesday, March 10th, we are looking at a potential major severe weather outbreak across the Midwest. The Storm Prediction Center has already issued a Level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for parts of Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois, stretching nearly up to Chicago. A broader slight risk of severe storms covers a staggering 36 million people. We are talking about Dallas, Oklahoma City, Springfield, Peoria, St. Louis, Indianapolis, and Chicago. 36 million people under the gun. But here's the twist that makes this one different from last week. Temperatures ahead of this storm system are going to push 80 degrees in places like Springfield, Illinois. 80 degrees in early March. That is record-breaking. And that abnormal heat is not just unusual, it is rocket fuel for these storms. The computer models are showing over 3,500 joules per kilogram of something called CAPE, which stands for Convective Available Potential Energy. That is thunderstorm fuel. To put that in perspective, we would not normally expect those numbers even in May across the Midwest. This is March, and the atmosphere is acting like it is peak tornado season. Now, do not skip ahead because here's the critical part most people will miss. We are looking at what forecasters call a loaded gun scenario. A strong atmospheric cap is going to hold back storm development during the morning and early afternoon. Meanwhile, heat and moisture are building up underneath like pressure in a sealed container. Dew points are surging into the 70s. The warm sector stretching from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to Chicago is unusually wide and fat. Normally, even our strongest March storms have a narrow corridor of warm, moist air to feed on. This time, the storms are going to have a buffet. When that cap breaks in the late afternoon on Tuesday, we are going to see explosive supercell development. Discrete storm cells capable of producing large hail, damaging straight-line winds, and potentially long-track tornadoes. Here is your exact timing breakdown. I promised you this, and I am delivering it right now. For Dallas and northern Texas, storms begin developing Tuesday afternoon around 2 to 4 in the afternoon Central Time. Peak intensity hits between 5 and 8 in the evening. The threat diminishes by midnight but does not fully end. For Oklahoma City and southern Oklahoma, expect the first severe storms to fire between 3 and 5 in the afternoon Central Time. The most dangerous window is from 5 in the evening through 10 at night. Stay alert until 1 in the morning Wednesday. For Springfield, Peoria, and central Illinois, this is ground zero. Supercells begin emerging between 4 and 6 in the evening Central Time. The peak tornado threat runs from 6 in the evening through midnight. Then, individual cells merge into a powerful squall line that brings damaging winds and embedded tornadoes from midnight through 4 in the morning Wednesday. This is the overnight danger zone. You must have a way to receive warnings while you sleep. For St. Louis and eastern Missouri, severe storms arrive between 5 and 8 in the evening Tuesday. The squall line pushes through between midnight and 3 in the morning Wednesday. For Chicago and northern Illinois, you are near the warm front boundary where tornado parameters are literally maximized. Storms arrive between 7 and 10 in the evening Tuesday. The squall line follows from 11 at night through 4 in the morning Wednesday. For Indianapolis and central Indiana, the squall line reaches you between 1 and 5 in the morning Wednesday. Peak wind damage threat hits around 2 to 4 in the morning. For Iowa, including Des Moines and Cedar Rapids, storms develop between 4 and 7 in the evening Tuesday. The worst window is 6 in the evening through midnight. Now, here is something nobody is talking about. We just had daylight saving time. You lost an hour of sleep. You have been up watching storm coverage. You are groggy. And these storms are hitting at the absolute worst time in the middle of the night when people are asleep. Please, tonight, make sure you have a weather radio, a reliable weather app, or some kind of alert system that will physically wake you up if a tornado warning is issued for your area. Do not miss the next part, because Wednesday is round 2, and it hits a completely different set of cities. The severe weather threat does not end Tuesday night. As the cold front surges east on Wednesday, March 11th, 26 million more people come under threat. The Storm Prediction Center has a 15% risk area stretching across Memphis, Nashville, Cincinnati, Columbus, and into parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and southern Ohio. Some of these are the exact same areas that were hit just days ago. For Memphis and western Tennessee, storms begin Wednesday morning, but the main severe threat peaks between 2 and 7 in the evening Central Time. For Nashville and Middle Tennessee, expect the worst between 3 and 8 in the evening. For Cincinnati and southern Ohio, the severe window runs from 5 in the evening through midnight Wednesday. For Columbus, Ohio, expect storms between 6 in the evening and 1 in the morning Thursday. For Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, the danger window is 4 in the evening through 11 at night Wednesday. For Birmingham, Alabama, and Jackson, Mississippi, severe storms roll through Wednesday afternoon between 1 and 6 in the evening. For Pittsburgh and western Pennsylvania, the squall line arrives late Wednesday night, roughly 10 at night through 3 in the morning Thursday. On Wednesday, the dynamics shift. We have less raw thunderstorm fuel, but significantly more wind shear and a hard-charging cold front. That means a dangerous mix of discrete supercells forming out ahead of the main line, followed immediately by an organized squall line packing destructive straight-line winds. Now, here is the plot twist nobody saw coming. Behind all this violent, severe weather, a massive winter storm is brewing. While parts of the Midwest and South are seeing 80-degree temperatures and tornadoes, a blizzard is setting up from Minnesota through the upper peninsula of Michigan into Ontario and Quebec, Canada. Multiple feet of snowfall. Then a second winter storm hits for the weekend, March 14th through the 15th, potentially dropping 3 to 5 feet of total snow across Wisconsin and southern Canada. 3 major weather models, the GFS, the European model, and the Canadian model, all agree on this. That almost never happens this far out. And if that is not enough, temperatures along the East Coast are going to crash 25 to 30 degrees below normal by Thursday and Friday. Cities that just had record-breaking warmth and tornado sirens will be struggling to get out of the 30s and 40s. That is what a true pattern shift looks like. For the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies, another storm system arrives Saturday into Sunday, bringing heavy mountain snow and gusty winds. For California and the desert Southwest, a massive ridge of high pressure locks in. No significant rainfall is expected through the rest of March. Climate models are calling this an unmiracle March for the West. For Florida, you mostly dodge the severe weather and the cold, but expect mid-80s and rising humidity. For the northern plains, including the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, you are looking at the triple threat this week. Severe storms, then a blizzard, then another blizzard. Prepare for both extremes. Now let me repeat the most critical information. Tuesday, March 10th is the most dangerous day. 36 million people at risk. The overnight hours Tuesday into early Wednesday are the peak danger window. Make sure you can receive warnings while sleeping. Wednesday brings round 2 for the Mid-South and Ohio Valley. And behind it all, a historic winter storm targets the northern tier. Comment your city and state below. I will respond with your specific risk window. Share this with anyone you know in the affected areas. One share could genuinely save a life this week. And here is what I need you to watch for. The models are already hinting at another potentially significant storm system developing for late March. If the pattern holds, this roller coaster is far from over. I will have the full breakdown in the next video, including updated snow totals and whether that late March system could rival what we are about to see this week. You do not want to miss that one. For those of you in the Northeast, including New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C., you are not out of this either. The cold front reaches you by Thursday with gusty winds and a sharp temperature drop. Some models are even hinting at freezing rain and ice accumulation across Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Up to 3/4 of an inch of ice in spots north of Toronto. That is enough to bring down power lines and tree branches across a wide area. Stay safe out there, be prepared, not scared, and I will see you in